So in this video, the idea is to create a Python based web server. So we want to create an HTTP server. We are not going to do something fancy like an HTTPS version of that with SSL certificate or something like that. We are just going to create a simple one which will look for specific files inside the root directory and serve. This is actually the code. So here we are importing actually HTTP server. From HTTP server we are importing two components. So we are importing the HTTP server and base HTTP request handler, and then we are defining a new class server. So it takes the argument like parameter base HTTP request handler, and you have to use this exact function as it is. So do underscore get self, so you have to define that exactly as it is. So here we are specifying a condition as long as our path of the project, like path of the server, is inside the root directory of the server. So that's the slash. So we are going to like open up this file, so 1.html. so if we have this file, it's going to open up the contents of the file. So this is a sample HTML file I just made, and if not, it is going to give us like it's also going to give us a response like 200 successful. But if it's not, it's going to say like oops, file not found, and it's going to like give us a 404 not found response. Here we end the headers, and since we need to write the file and it's also in bytes format, we need to encode it back to UTF-8. That's what we are doing over here. Here we have the like service or daemon running in the background to keep the server up. So as long as this exists, we have access to the server. So inside this, we are passing inside a tuple, we are passing like the port or the IP address and the port. So that's inside a tuple, you have to be careful about that. And we are passing the server class over here. After that, we are just telling it to serve forever. So daemon.serve forever. So what this does is this will actually keep up running forever until we close, like unless we close the server manually. So here if I open this up and Python 3, so this is actually Ubuntu virtual machine, and my file name is 1.py. So when I run the program, I'm not getting any errors, so that's really good because we are not getting any errors. So I'm just like we can keep this over here. So this is Emacs. Inside Emacs we have ANSI term running this Python thing, and our server runs over here. So I don't remember which port I specify. So somewhere over here, yeah, I remember. So we have like 127.0.0.1. So that was the IP address specified, and colon 9263. So that was the port I have specified. So when I do that, it's going to print out like it's going to print out like oops, file not found. So that was the message which we set. So you can see oops, file not found, because we haven't specified a path over here. So this is just the plain root of the file. So instead, if I specify like if I go to the directory, have this web server, so inside this project directory I have this 1.html. so it's nothing useful, but it's just for a proof of concept. So if I open that, you can see like this is a sample test file. So that's what I have written inside that 1.html. So if we try anything else like 127.0.0.1, we have to use same thing. And if we try something else like a or something, it's going to give us this same file not found error. So if we go to inspect, and inside our network tab, inside the, if we right click inspect and if we open up the network tab, So I have opened this sample test file, so I can see the status is 200 over here. Instead, if I change this to something else like /a, for example, it's going to give me that 404 not found status. So that's working exactly as we have set it to work. So now you see like the server is running and it's giving us all this information inside our terminal, but let's close that out. So we have terminated our server, but now if we try to refresh this, we're not going to get anything because our server is no longer running. So the daemon which we have created over here, like let me remove that. So the daemon which we have created over here has been disconnected. So that's how this thing works basically. Before closing, I would like to say something. If you are planning to deploy some server to the web, at least try to make sure you have some self-signed certificate, or you can get SSL, like if you are using it from some cloud providers, like some of them have plans for auto generate SSL, stuff like that, or you can generate one with OpenSSL by yourself. So that's really up to you. So follow good practices always, like don't use HTTP at this point unless you have a specific application that requires that. So that's that. I hope you all have a wonderful day.